You know what it is? First video of the year. Let's get into it. 2021, what's in my bag? So I've actually made this video several times, different settings and everything else, trying to make it perfect, trying to make it nice. And it's gotten to the point where I just got to put something out because I'm trying to be too perfectionist, and we don't want that. We'd rather have content than be like, oh, it's perfect, but you posted once a month, if that. So let's talk about what's in my bag for the year. First things first, we're going to talk about the bags. My everyday carry is the Hex Ranger Sling Bag. I just love the fact that it has a lot of different pockets, fleece lined up here, fleece lined in the front, padding's pretty thick, removable and all that good stuff. You can adjust it. Pretty good size. Has different little stuff like this, like a little keychain where you can, keys can go right over here. Put stuff in here. Gotta have business cards on you at all times. Yeah, this is my everyday go-to bag. I just like, notepad, camera and a couple lenses, phones, wallet, keys. I don't have any problem going in there, and they all have their good spot there. But the main shoot bag, still the same. The Ona Brixton. Ona Brixton, I love this bag. Had it for maybe about 5 years. This is the Field Tan Wax Canvas. Ona, very good reputation, very well padded, has the best padding I've ever used. A lot of pockets, real buckles, which I love. I personally like to have a messenger style bag so I can have it on my side and I can just dip my hand into it. I don't like backpacks because you gotta take your backpack off, unzip it, throw it on the ground. I don't like that. Slows me down. And then also, I just don't feel safe, putting my backpack down, unzipping it. Someone might come through, run, knock me over the head or something like that. Messenger bag, it's on my side, and also with real buckles, you can't just they don't have the magnetic buttons where you can just pull it up and sneak in. You would have to actually unbuckle it to get to my stuff. So I like that. But Ona, I enjoy them a lot. Founded by a black woman, though she sold the company, she still is an active board member. That said, if there is, a black-owned camera bag company that makes dope-looking bags, I would love to know about them. Going off of bags, inside we have my gear. So my main body and my main lens typically are always together. Is my X Pro 2. Still using that same body, been using it for about 1.5 years. Love it. With the X Pro 2, we have on here the 35mm f1.4 with the square lens hood on it. After going over all my gear and selling off a bunch of my lenses and stuff, I decided to kind of just change my gear a little bit, and I got the 1.4 after selling some stuff because I just going over my photos and looking at the settings and looking at some photos that I would have liked to go in my book but couldn't because of motion blur. That one stop of light does help. All right, next up here we have my newest lens. Got this for Christmas. I didn't think I would own this lens until I was a full-time photographer, to be honest with you. I've rented it a couple times, used it for paid work for weddings and stuff, and I love it, but I didn't think I was gonna own it until I was a working full-time photographer. This is the go-to portrait lens, the 56mm 1.2, the equivalent of an 85. I've taken some of my favorite photos with this lens just over a weekend when I've rented it, and got it for Christmas because people love me. I don't know why. But yeah, I'm very happy to have this lens, and I can't wait to create some work to prove to myself, be honest with you, that I'm worthy of this lens and not going with just the 50 f2. So I'm ready to put this to work. My third lens, the Trinity of my prime lenses, this is what I take with all my shoots, is the 16mm f1.4. And if you'll notice, they both have the square hoods on there. I think square hoods look cooler. They are smaller than the hoods that come with it. The 56 does flare a little bit, so it's good to hear. And then they also have just a sliding lens cap that goes on top of the hood. So this just slides right off and then slides right on. So you never have to worry about losing one, whereas the 35mm that comes with that little rubber hood, I've lost that like a week into owning the lens. I have a couple supplemental lenses. For video, I have the XC16-50. This is the cheap kit lens. This is my run and gun lens. If I'm out in the field trying to do some video stuff, this has OIS on it. So I have this for image stabilization. I haven't used it too much, and we have the ND filter to go with it. Tuesday, I'm doing a video. Then this lens here is my Head and Shoulders lens here. This is a Canon FD 135-2.8, very long lens on APS sensors. It's about a 200. I don't use it a lot. This pretty much stays in the crib. But when I know I'm going to be doing something like head and shoulder shots, head shots, focusing on just this area here, that's all I'm focusing on. Maybe not even here, maybe not here, but like here, but if I'm focusing on that, I will try to use this lens. I say try because it's very hard to focus this lens because it's such a shallow depth of field. Even at f8, because I'm only shooting here, it's a shallow depth of field, and so it's hard to see, is this in focus? Is that focus peaking right here? Or is that the light shining? Is that the reflection of the TV? Is that the sun shining in there? It's hard to get in focus, but when I nail focus with this lens, woo baby, that's why it's still here. I don't take it on field shoots a lot because if I'm on the field shoot, I'm usually timed. But if I'm doing personal projects or if I know I have unlimited time, then I will definitely get some shots with this lens right here. Hi Tuesday. You might be able to hear her purring when this video comes out. Besides that, gotta have the MacBook, right? I don't take this on field a lot. Only if I'm doing a shoot where I know I can tether, then I'll take this. Otherwise, it pretty much stays here at home, or if I'm going to go edit, something like that. I usually just go ahead and take an iPad. iPad that I, at the end of a shoot, load up the Fuji app and just kind of go over on the big screen to see, hey, what photos do you like? What photos do you want to make sure get edited? Or photos, that I pick here. And then, occasionally do some mobile editing and have some stuff to post on social media immediately there. Gotta have the Fuji Instax SP2. Print you some little prints on the go. I always give these little gifts when I'm doing a shoot. So you're like, oh, this is a photo that you really like. Print it out real quick, and give that to a client, give that to the bride and groom, give that to some family, and also put a little sticker on there. Got a little Moose sticker book with my logos on here, and my logo, my hashtag, Shot by the Robot, so that you can just, it's like a personal business card. Learned that from Zach Arias. It's just a cool thing to give out, even if it's just for business, just for fun. I give these to friends. I took my camera on my first date with my girlfriend and printed out a photo of her that I gave, and she has it in a mirror. I have photos of her that I've taken from her that I printed out for myself. I think it's just cool to have, even if it's just not business. It's just really cool to be like, print just small mementos that, people that mean a lot to you, or if, like I said, business-wise, it's a cool thing to have. Gotta have your little Joby pod, right? Joby tripod. Got this on Amazon for the low. I keep this in the crib. Actually, I keep this in the car, I'm sorry. I keep it usually in my console, so if I want to take a random light trail photo or something like that, this is always there. You always gotta have your Think Tank Pocket, Pixel Pocket Rocket SD cards in here. Face up means they're formatted and ready to go. Face down means they're empty. I tend to like the SanDisk Extreme Pro, the black ones. I have dual cards of both my cameras, so for most time it's just set up as JPEG and RAW. If I'm doing a portrait shoot or something like that, if it's a wedding and those are priceless photos, then I'll do a backup so that both of them are there. Tuesday, can you chill for a moment? I'll pet you in a sec. I'm almost done. And then I also have here on the side pocket is the newer battery pack. This holds 4 batteries. When I'm shooting an event or shooting out, I don't take the battery grip for the XT2 with me. I think it's just a little too wide and heavy. I only use it for video stuff, so it stays here at the crib, or only if I know I'm going out to do a video. So typically 2 batteries in my camera, 4 in here, and then, you know, I have it set up so that, if you can see that here, face up means it's alive, face down means it needs to be charged. And again, logo everywhere. Logo everywhere. Gotta have notebook and pen on me. I have my notes app always out, like ready, but I feel, one, that I remember things better when I write them down. And someone who has ADHD, my memory is not bad, but I just think about a lot of things rapidly. So if I don't write things down or type them down, I'll forget, honestly. And I find I remember better with writing. Like my notes app, I can refer to my notes app a lot. But with my notebook, I feel like when I write it down, I actually don't even have to refer to my notebook. It's like once I wrote it down, it's in my brain. So I don't really have to actually open this up. I know exactly what's in here. Whereas my notes app, I will forget things often and be like, oh, I have a whole shoot list in here that I want to shoot, and I have to refer to it and be like, oh, I had this idea, I totally forgot. Last thing I have here, just a couple of things, you know, gotta have your blower. Gotta keep that blower on you. I have this is the RAV Power File Hub. I use this in conjunction with this, my external SSD hard drive. I harvest this from my PC when I upgraded the C drive, and I use these two. This has a SD card reader on the side, so you hook them up together, and with USB, throw in the SD card. There's a little button here that says SD to USB, and you press that and it automatically backs up to this. I don't have the money for a NAR box or the SSD version of the Western Digital Passport, and I've had the original version, and it just takes a long time to, once you start using more bigger memory cards, 32 and 64 gigabit cards, it takes a while for it to back up. It's kind of like that one hard drive is like the size of both of these combined. And also I found that it drained battery pretty quickly. I've had it for some years now. It wasn't worth it to replace it. And since I can't just sub out the hard drive in that device, I went with this. Altogether, this costs, if you have to buy the hard drive new, it costs you a little bit more. But if you already have an SSD hard drive that you can use, this file hub cost me $40. And then the hard drive case cost me $20. So altogether, I spent $60 for something that can back up a memory card. And I haven't put a full like 32 gigabit card in there, but I've used like 15, 16 gig videos and backed up with about within 7 minutes or so. So if I'm on the road, I'm driving to Denver, driving back home, I will put cards in here and let it back up on the way home. So that way I have a backup to my SSD. I can work off my SSD. I can put my SD card somewhere else until they're done editing and ready to be delivered before I format them. I can also, once I get home, back up an SSD to multiple devices, and it'll be pretty quick because I'm going off a SSD hard drive and not that small card, which, you know, can take a little while. And that's it for my main gear. Lighting wise is still the exact same actually. 8200 is my key light that I use. My light modifiers, I broke my main one. So the one I've been using is Beauty Dish, which is my first time owning that, which I like a lot because I do enjoy the hard light. Then my backup or my running gun light, if I want to go smaller, is a Godox TT200. So within the Godox family, still using the same trigger, works on both of them, so I like that. And then I need to get another one of these because right now I am still using that same Amazon Basics light, but typically I only use that with a snoot on it because I'm using it as like a spotlight to highlight something. So right now these are my main two lights, and then I have that little one that I take with me as well. Again, that's for when I'm doing like a full production shoot. If I'm just doing run and gun, typically only have the 8200 with me, or the TT600 if I need that extra, you know, I only need a little bit of power. I'm gonna go shoot at dusk or something like that. I don't need the full power. That's what I do. So with that, like, I just want to run through it, keep it very basic, not bore you with all the details and my life story and all the gear here. I will say this is the first time that I've had a bag full of just Fuji gear and not a bunch of manual lenses, film lenses, stuff like that. I still have a couple. I'm filming with the Miike 25mm f1.8. I forgot to mention that. That's just my talking head lens. And then I have, like I said, the 135, but again, that's pretty much only specialized looking. This is the first time I have my whole bag. My main bag is all Fuji. I've been rocking with manual and film lenses for years, so I'm wholly with people when they say that gear doesn't matter, because I've been making work that I love with gear that doesn't cost much. Like, if I'm actually thinking about one thing I want to do in the future is make a video talking about, if you got $500 and you want to shoot Fuji, here's what you can get, and here's how you can make some awesome work with it, because I did it before. So if you enjoyed this, if you got some inspiration, if you were thinking of have any questions about why I use what I use, or if you have questions about how I like something, please comment, like, and sub, because you know how this YouTube game works. I appreciate it much. Peace.